Why hello my curious crafters, I'm Noah, and I'm here to show you my shulkerbox searcher. Now what this does is it will take items as input, search them one at a time, and each item will be checked against all of these shulker boxes. If a shulker box has that item type in it, it will output that shulker box down here along with two of those items. The first item will be the item you input, the second will be the one that matched from the shulker box. So I'll show you that working here. This is spam proof, so we can put in all of our different items at once. We can also put items that will not appear in any of the boxes, and this even works with 16 stackables, not just 64 stackables. If you input stackable, non-stackable items into here, it will break the system. So if we go ahead and put in some of those items, any order, doesn't really matter, it will search through, find those items, and they will be output down here. And we will wait for that. Okay, as you can see, we found all of our items and it returned us two of that item type if it found it, and one of that item if it didn't, and this is the one item we input, and it returned us all of our boxes. Now, when we found that one item, it didn't return us a box. We can see that if we go up till the cyan concrete box, and we skip over to the egg box, because we never had a box with that item type in it. Now, why might you want to build something like this in your world? The way I'm going to use this is part of a larger shulker box based storage system. I'll have items come in, and if they want to go to the bulk, I will send them over to here and find the bulk box that needs to be filled. So I'll have boxes that are partially full in here. I'll pull out the box that corresponds to the item that's coming in, fill that box up, and then if it's entirely full, I'll send it off to the bulk storage, and if it's done filling up and not entirely full, I'll send it back into here. That way, only entirely full boxes get sent to the bulk, and boxes that are waiting to be entirely filled up are waiting in here until they get entirely full. That way I don't have a whole bunch of shulker box loaders that aren't being used. That way I only need like one, maybe two shulker box loaders to fill boxes, and it's a little bit more compact. I can also send entirely full boxes into the same slice, say with a multi-item sorter, rather than having each slice only having one bulk item. Another use could be just to have this as your bulk storage, and every time you want a box with bulk items in it, you input one of that item and it'll output your box with that item type. That seems probably rather slow and probably easier to just have multiple item filters with multiple slices for each bulk item, but this could be used in that way if you wanted to. And as far as other uses, I'll leave that up to you to decide if you have any ideas. Okay, so now how does it actually work? I'm just going to give a brief overview here, and if you want to go build this for yourself, I will leave a link to a Structural Lab page for this, and that will have a structure file as well as a resource pack to help you build this up in Minecraft Bedrock. Now, this first circuit here, the copper circuit, does several different things. The first is it only lets through one item at a time using this T flip-flop, and then it also prepares the item filter. This needs some preparation to be able to work with 64 stackables as well as 16 stackables. If a 64 stackable item comes in, it will end up in here, and we will provide a fourth bucket, and that will set up the signal strength so that as soon as a second item comes in, our item filter in the back here will trigger. And then if a 16 stackable comes in, it will end up here. We'll leave this with just 3 buckets, and then as soon as another 64 stackable ends up in here, that will trigger the item filter. Editor Noah here. This dropper is entirely full of buckets, and you would want to rename these items to be filter items. I've just left them as bucket iron nugget because I'm not going to use iron nuggets or buckets when I'm testing. And then down through here we have a reset for the filter. When this gets powered, we pull out a bucket, if there was one, to have the filter ready for the next item. And then this green circuit is the clock for the system. Right here is a standard repeater clock with a redstone torch, and there's a piece of redstone dust right underneath here. And that just clocks the system at hopper speed, powering this piston, placing boxes, breaking boxes, placing boxes, breaking boxes, etc. And then clocking this dropper tower to send the shulker boxes back into the system. There's also this little delay here so that we can wait for the item filter to be ready before turning on the clock. And then this gold circuit here is for detecting once we've gotten through all of the boxes. So once this dispenser is empty, we will pulse the item filter really quick to pull out just one item rather than the two that would normally pull out when the item filter gets full, as well as reset the T flip-flop, let in next item, and turn off the clock. This diamond circuit up here is for the buffer. We need the buffer so that we don't just have shulker boxes go all the way through. If we were trying to pull out this pink shulker box and we put in some pink concrete and we didn't have the buffer, we would go through all of these shulker boxes, and by the time we got somewhere over here, maybe somewhere up here, this white box would have made it all the way through the system and would be back in before the white box, or before the pink box, so we would only search through the first few boxes and never get to the end. And we would also never get through all the boxes and know that our item was not in any of them. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got some cool ideas. I hope you got inspired to do something cool in your world, mess around with redstone, have fun. Peace out.